New changes has just been released for Caesar. What does this mean? Where does she stand now? Is she better or is she still the same? Well, for starters, as many of you know, the changes are huge, so let's dive right in. First and foremost, we need to look at her basics, where she gained massive buffs. Before, her basics were kind of underwhelming. Now that this has been changed, her numbers are nearly doubled. We can see Caesar being an on-fielder rather than a debuffer/shielder that quickly swaps out. Additionally, she now has a 6th hit in her attack string, which significantly boosts her damage, including her daze damage. This road is blocked, her charge attack also gained a buff. The increase in her overall output is quite noticeable, especially for someone who depends heavily on her X special and special abilities. While this might not be exciting for everyone, she has the potential to be very effective on-fielder for anomaly agents, offering much more utility, but we'll discuss this later. Let's break down the changes to her X special first. She received a slight nerf in some areas, but significant buffs in other areas. If her X special isn't used with her precision block, her multipliers and daze multipliers have been reduced. However, when using precision block, her X special becomes incredibly powerful as it now includes counter damage and counter daze damage. This character isn't just applying a debuff, she also boosts allies with 1k attack, which we will also discuss later. She can now also stand her ground effectively. She provides 3 key things. She's a support, a stunner, and she's also a defensive agent due to her shield being heavily impact based. These changes make her not only a great agent, but an agent that I would consider a must pull. Additionally, her second X special Superpower Slash had both its multipliers and daze multipliers increased, making her even more formidable. My excitement around these buffs cannot be understated. The major improvements to her kit make her an agent that truly befits the name of the King. Furthermore, her offense is the best defense ability now gives her a 21% attack boost instead of the previous crit rate and impact boost of 32%. Her first core passive has also been revamped. It now provides all teammates with a shield equal to 1400% of her impact, plus 2200 for 90 seconds. An additional benefit is that the on-fielder with a shield will gain an extra 1000 attack, which remains for 5 seconds after the shield expires. Now remember when I said there is a second scenario in my previous video? Turns out that the second scenario is right. The second scenario is basically when you perform a defensive counter or a defensive assist, her mark is increased by a meter. Additionally, Caesar mark duration is increased to 30 seconds, which will allow the whole squad to deal 25% extra damage to enemies. It is now safe to say that majority of the time she won't be missing her mark on an enemy, and even if she misses it, it won't be as punishing. In a game that is essentially a closed-off arena fighter and isn't an open-world game like Genshin for example, it isn't very difficult to apply the mark to enemies unless you're constantly getting staggered. Which won't be the case here with Caesar, since she can function as both a shielder and an on-field bruiser. A quote-unquote nerf she got is a nerf to her assist follow-up, but that isn't a big nerf. And I would even go as far to say that isn't a nerf at all, as she now excels on being an on-field bruiser that dishes out daze and damage multipliers that are insanely high for someone that is supposed to be a defensive unit. So the changes to her overall kit turned her from a fairly standard supportive agent to a monstrous agent that can function as both very strong on-fielder as well as a top-tier defensive agent, truly befitting title for the King. So let's break her down. Imagine Sukaku's kit where we get 1000 flat attack buff, and instead of providing extra ice damage for her team, she provides 25% damage increase on enemies that are marked. On top of that, you're getting a shield and getting daze multipliers that are flying around in just one single agent. Caesar now became a very valuable agent on your account. Previously it would be useful to get her, but now it would be a downright crime not pulling her. And she's very easy to fit in all sorts of team comps. In my previous video, I heavily mentioned attackers gaining way more value with her along with Anomaly, but now it's heavily as important to get her in Anomaly, because majority of the time when we consider to use any sort of attack agent, the teams are usually divided into attack, stunner, support. Previously, we considered to swap out the support, but now with these buffs we can consider to swap out either of the two options we have, either the stun or the support, because both options are available with Caesar. Even though a lot of people might consider that with attack, Anomaly on the other hand will be gaining way more value out of her. and she's going to be very useful in it as well, since majority of the time people would consider either support or a defense agent, and Caeser is capable of being both in one slot. Keep in mind that this also changes the fact that you can build your squad around Caesar's changes. We can tell that she can be an on-fielder as well, meaning that you'll be capable of playing on-field Caesar with Graves and Bernice as well. So all in all, things look very positive for Caeser. And lastly, her W engine has also been updated. While the impact of the W engine remains unchanged, the mechanics however changed. Instead of simply being attacked while shielded, you are now required to trigger either a counter or a perfect dodge. The damage and daze effect remains the same, which are already quite effective. These changes are designed to encourage players to counter with your squad to constantly apply her mark. And that's it, we have reached the end. My apologies for uploading this video late, but hopefully I've earned your subscription today. If I didn't, let me know in the comment section below if I said anything wrong. Or if you have a question, you can leave it in the comments. And if you want a faster response, you can join my Discord link, it's in the description. And we can build a nice community together. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.